see the bridge to the left. And on the bridge there are trees with the padlocks. As soon as the trees are full with the padlocks, they take these trees and put them on the other side of this canal.
So here's water in the canal, and here's the trees that are covered with locks from people getting married. And here's a close-up. The sculpture of a ship down here was the same sculpture that we saw yesterday in the gallery. He wanted to give it to America, but after he got it built, nobody could figure out how to get it there. And there was a statue of Christopher Columbus on top, so they took Christopher Columbus's head off and put Peter the Great on there, and now it's the statue to Peter Columbus. Here's St. George slaying the dragon again. This is the Tretyakov Gallery, and Mr. Tretyakov here was a wealthy merchant, and he collected art, and it's inside here. This is down in the lobby, and it's sorting out the tour groups. There's got to be 5 different groups in here, but here's us.
And the photo of the gallery is this man, whose name is Tretyakov. I told you about him on the way. In Russia, it was not allowed to paint pictures. No pictures. It was not allowed, only icons. That is why, well, all over the world, there was, Renaissance, Rembrandt.
It's Leo Tolstoy.
He said, I don't have time for that. But at last he agreed. At that moment, he wrote his book, Anna Karenina. And
this is Christ in the desert.
In the life of every person, when you have to sit and to think how to do, how to live, what is the main thing in this life?
This is a woman whose son has just died, and that's in the painting.
Unknown lady. When Kramskoy, the painter, painted this portrait, all the other painters from this society were shocked. They said, why did you paint this picture? Please throw it away. If you don't, you won't be in our society. And he said, if you don't want me to be your society, I will leave your society. But this is my favorite picture. And another painter, he said,
Morning in the Pine Forest.
He said, okay. So he painted Mother Bay and 3 cows. After he painted it, the picture looked absolutely different, and the picture got the first prize. I'll tell you,
this is the same artist,
these pictures of him,
and there's bears in here.
They think it's photo. Prince and Grey Wolf helps them. If you look here, this picture, the battle, it also reminds us fairy tales, because Russia was 300 years under the Mongol Tatars, and we have a lot of fairy tales about it. This is also from White Horse, the son of nobility, and to the right, the son from intelligentsia. They are standing near the border of the country. They will not attack, but if something happens, they are ready to defend the country.
Ivan the Terrible.
The more cruel his face was. After several attempts, he refused this idea. Let him be like he is. Blessing everyone. It doesn't matter whether you are a painter, whether you are enemy
field
or friend.
After the battle.
The priest is blessed. That's the results of the war. It doesn't matter who are you. For all the families, it's a big grief. And this one, when I look at
mortally
this picture,
wounded.
I have skin all the time. Look, that's again. Yes, look at this. The celebration of the victory. It's in Samarkand, in Central Asia. Look, they are celebrating. They are winners. But look, they all have on the sticks the heads of their enemies. Can you see? It's a big grief. Again, the results of the war.
Another one against war. Here's the results of war, too.
He was born in Siberia. He was a very big Russian man who loved Russia very, very much. And all his pictures are about history, Russian history. It's called Boyarinya Morozova. I know that you don't understand a single word what I said to you. Boyarinya, it means nobility, noble family, nobility. And Morozova, it's her last name. Boyarinya, to accept new belief, was this lady on the sleds. This is the moment when she is taken into the prison because she didn't want to accept new belief. Look, the sleds is divided picture into two parts, left and right. On the left-hand side, which is the minority, people are very happy. Okay, she is taken to the prison, smiling. Look to the right. It's really national tragedy. Look, where is sitting on the ceiling and he has the same sign, like she does, do you see? Then, do you see this who wanted to touch the sleds? Because this lady on the sled, she's almost safe for her. Streltsy, as I told you, was the old army. What's happened? Peter the Great wanted to fortify the army, but as usually, old army were against it, and there were several riots. And Peter the Great wanted to punish them. He decided to kill the heads of these riots. And you see, maybe you recognize St. Basil Cathedral, this elevation stone. In reality, these events took place, but not on Red Square. Look to the right.
The Streltsy are in the white shirts.
In white shirts, yes. To the right, you see one of them. He will be killed in a minute. The other one in the center with the great pen. He's saying farewell to his daughter. Then the other one is also just ready to be killed. Look at the women in front. You see one woman, we can't see her face, but she's the embodiment of grief. Look at the little girl. She's also so emotional, an old woman. It's like, national tragedy. But to the right is the Kremlin wall. Do you see the Kremlin wall? And on the horse there is it's Peter the Great. Peter the Great. Peter the Great is sitting. He's like the symbol of power. And look, Peter the Great and Streltsy, they don't understand each other. Look at Peter the Great and this red-beard Strelets. Do you see with the candle, red-beard to the left? There is like duel of eyes between them. They don't understand each other. Just they hate each other. 17th century, she was very smart for the lady. She knew several languages. She was very smart. She understood politics. But in the 17th century in Russia, there was no way for a woman to be Russian Tsarina. Tsarina like a queen. But she wanted to be Russian Tsarina. And she organized a plot against Peter the Great. Peter the Great won. Look at
Ivan the Terrible.
His face is full of horror. His eyes are full of horror.
And he's killed his son.
Is full of blood. On the forehead of Ivan the Terrible.
Didn't really mean to.
On the carpet and the whole. Alexander III is having a talk with the heads of the rural areas. I want you to look at the frame of this picture. Look, on the frame there are emblems from emblems of all the district heads of the rural areas came. You see in the center Alexander III. Alexander III, as I told you yesterday in the gallery, he was a very wise man, Russian man, so wise. Russia never waged wars when he was at the power. And he was the father of Nicholas II, the last Russian Tsar. Do you see Alexander III is standing, and behind him there is a lady with umbrella. This is a Russian Tsarina, his wife. And there are 3 kids. Look at the kid to the right. He has the same red hair like Alexander III. This is Nicholas II when he was a teenager.